Hey, darling. My name is Danetha. I am a money mystic as well as the creator of Money Mimosas. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing January's full moon money message. Before I jump into January 2021's full moon money message, I want to share some insight around what the full moon and how that impacts the flow of abundance and the energetic connection to money. So the full moon is a time to release poor habits, release money blocks, toxic behaviors, any toxic relationships with money, really anything in our life. However, my focus is on financial abundance. And so I work with the full moon to release anything that is no longer serving me. I practice money mysticism, and that is a spiritual practice of being in alignment with the flow of abundance. And being in alignment involves reflecting on what's no longer serving us, and then releasing it so that we can make space for things that do serve us. These full moon money readings that I share with you are my interpretation using Western astrology as well as my understanding of economic systems. My formal education is in economics, and I am a student of astrology as well. And I these messages are general. I have to start with that because this work is very personalized, and I'm taking very personalized information and trying to make it more general to help as many people as possible on their journey of being in the flow of their own abundance. And so keep that in mind as you listen to this message, that it is general, and try to find the nuggets that serve you. Anything that doesn't serve you, discard it, just chalk it up as it wasn't meant for you. And anything that is helpful to you, please utilize it and apply it to your life as you see fit. And lastly, before I dive into the full moon's money message, I always share that money mysticism is accessible to anyone who believes that money is energy and believes in the power of working with astrology and working with forces beyond our intellect to be in the flow of abundance. It's open to all beings. With that said, there are human constructs that do block individuals' connection to the cosmos. And the cosmos are, you can think of the cosmos as the high court, and then we have the local court, the district court. And the district court is the planet Earth that we live on. And this court abides by the laws of nature. And one of those laws of nature is cause and effect. I like to think of it as karma. And before you can access the high court, the cosmos, you must be in alignment and in accordance, in harmony with Mother Earth, with her laws, the laws of nature. And one of those laws of nature, cause and effect, is understanding that the the things that happened in the past do have an impact on what happens later, cause and effect. As it relates to money, there are lots of constructs that have been put in place to keep folks from being able to thrive financially. Things like redlining, things like slavery, things like ongoing racism and sexism. And as an individual, particularly if you're a white person listening to this, and a lot of my audience are women, so white women specifically, you have to clean up that side of the street before you can access the high court, before you can access the cosmos. You've got to get back in harmony with the laws of nature. Your ancestral lineage, and you, by continuing to perpetuate what your ancestors have created, the trauma and the abuse that they have inflicted, particularly on Black women, is going to prevent you from connecting with the cosmos and prevent you from manifesting money. It's impossible to be able to manifest before, which is of the high court, before you've dealt with what's happening here on planet Earth. And I hear that often, that, oh, I manifested this, I manifested that. That's called spiritual bypassing, because it hasn't been cleaned up here on planet Earth for you to be able to then access manifestation. So the first step is to work on cleaning up your side of the street before you start thinking about working with the energy of the cosmos to be in the flow of abundance and manifest. money. And now let's dive into January 2020's full moon money message. I'm going to be referring to my notes so I don't miss anything for you. The full moon occurs on Thursday, January 28th at 2:18 Eastern time. And the full moon won't be visible then to the naked eye. It will be visible later on in the sunset. That's when it occurs. Now, the energy of the full moon is present leading up to that day. So, a couple days before and a couple days after. And so, I'm talking about the energy that's surrounding all of it. And this full moon is known as the wolf moon. And this was believed to have come from Native American tribes here in the Western Hemisphere. The exact tribe is not known. And it's believed that the name was inspired by the increased howling during this time. And wolves howl for a variety of reasons. They could be howling because they're hungry. They could be howling to get their pack, to communicate with their pack, to get them all together. They could be howling for other reasons as well. And so that's something to think about. Like, why were they howling? And as someone who is reflective, and I imagine you are as well, think about how that can apply to your life. Mystery around the wolves continues as we look at the wolf symbolism. And the symbolism of the wolf does differ from culture to culture. Some of the common themes that I came across were trusting your instincts and an appetite for freedom and power. Trusting your instincts and an appetite for freedom and power. When we think about an animal's symbolism, it is about the fact that they are highlighting areas within our life to pay attention to. And so with the wolf, it's an invitation to think about, how am I not trusting my instincts? In what ways can I start acting more from my instincts rather than shying away from it? Then also, how can I acknowledge my appetite for freedom and power? Do I feel uncomfortable when I think about power? Does that feel greedy? Why is that? And what is the wolf here to teach me about owning my appetite for power? Now, let's shift gears from the wolf moon to the zodiac sign that is associated with this full moon. And the zodiac sign is Leo. Leo is a fire sign and it's associated with creativity, self expression. It's most associated with the fifth house. So, the fifth house on your birth chart is the house that deals with pleasure, play, self expression. And so, the Leo sign is about shining bright. If you have any Leos in your life who have the sun sign Leo, then you probably have seen this in them. We all have Leo on our birth chart, and we all have Leo that governs some area of our life. And with this full moon being in Leo, it's about play, pleasure, self expression, creativity, and going full force in that area. The Leo yearns to be a star, it yearns to shine, it yearns to be the center of attention, and it doesn't shy away from that. One of the things that I love about the innate currency that folks who have Leo as their sun sign have, when your sun sign is the innate currency that you offer to the world, it's your medicine to the world, and in exchange, you get compensated financially for it. When I talk to the Money Mystics, that's one of the paid membership groups within Money Mimosas. We talk about how they can be in alignment with their innate currency, which is their sun sign. And for Leos, it's about shining brightly and balancing that with not being arrogant, not being an asshole. And that's one of the gifts that they offer to the world, is how we can all do that balancing act of shining brightly, being the center of attention, but not so much where we stomp on other people or are pompous or arrogant about it. The challenge with the Leo sign is that when it's out of balance, it tends to seek external validation. It can have low self confidence. It appears that they're confident because they're always shining brightly, and they seem to have high self esteem because they are the center of attention. However, it could be a mask for low self esteem, low confidence. And so when the Leo sign is out of balance, and this is with anyone because we all have Leo within us, that means that there's too much emphasis on external validation, too much emphasis on external approval, and the work needs to be done with cultivating self approval and self validation. So, combining the wolf's energy, the Leo sign, and the fifth house, the full moon money message that came through to share with you today is a question. And these invitations are always questions to ponder and for you to reflect upon. And the question was, if you fully trusted yourself, what step would you take to shine more brightly? If you fully trusted yourself, what step would you take to shine more brightly? So that self trust comes from the wolf. It comes from trusting your instincts and acting in accordance with it. The shining more brightly comes from the Leo sign, which is inviting us to not be afraid of self expression. And all of those combined has to do with our inner power. A lot of us shy away from the power that we hold within us. And this full moon is a call to stop playing small, to stop trying to dim your light so that others feel comfortable around you. It's about leaning into your instincts, leaning into your intuition, and going for it full throttle and shining brightly, taking up space, expressing yourself in ways that you've been yearning to. There are some ways that you've been yearning to express yourself creatively that you've been holding back from because you're afraid, you may be ridiculed, or you're afraid you may not be taken seriously, or you're afraid, perhaps from past experiences that folks will, that you'll receive backlash. And all of this and this full moon is about releasing and releasing anything that is holding you back from shining more brightly, from fully trusting yourself, from stepping forward into your light so that you can truly be in the flow of your own abundance. And that's what the full moon is all about. It's highlighting the areas that we need to look at so that we can release them. Any toxic patterns you have around money, any old histories you have around money that's no longer serving you. What are those that are blocking you from trusting yourself, trusting your instincts, from showing up more creatively, from shining more brightly? Reflect upon those and see what comes up for you as something to release. The concept of self-trust and self-validation is such a necessary skill to develop, because the more you actually look outside of you for validation, the more you erode your own confidence. And the more your confidence is eroded, the more your self-esteem is eroded, the more your self-worth is eroded, and your self-worth is directly connected to your net worth. Your net worth is a manifestation of your self worth. And so the more you can practice self trust and internal validation, you will start to, your instincts will then trust you to show up. And that inner voice within you that's been really quiet, kind of whispering, will get louder and louder and louder, and will help guide you in terms of what's the next best step for you to take in order to be in the flow of your own abundance and to attract and manifest the riches that you want to experience here on planet Earth. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you'd like some more insights on how to work with this full moon, I invite you to head on over to moneymimosas.com. I have a full article about working with the full moon energy, as well as some more journal prompts to guide you for this full moon, January 2021's full moon. You can find that link down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you continued peace and prosperity as your journey of financial freedom continues to unfold for you. See you in the next video. Bye.